Welcome to Daily Conversation. This is Mr. K.
This is Eric.
Yeah, today is the 21st of October 2021 and the time now is 6:18 a.m. Well, our topic today is easier said than done, and how about the opposite of this saying? All right, so before we get started, please click the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, so here we go. Yeah, so for the opposite of this saying, which I actually want to say, um, is there any things that is easier done than said? Yeah, which is the opposite of easier said than done. Because normally we say that there are many things we say we can do it, maybe we promise or we expect we can do it, and but when talk about action, it will be kind of more difficult. Yeah, and then uh, so today's we look into the opposite of these things and trying to go from the opposite. So the first things that I can think of is something that I played when I was young, when I was in the secondary school, which is the Rubik's cube. Yeah, in Chinese we call 魔术方块. Yeah, and then for this Rubik's cube, and then I actually learned from one of my friend when we were on the bus, on the school bus, and on the way to school. And at first, there are something like uh, a few steps, and then we can solve the Rubik's. And then my friends show me how to do it. And then for me, as a learner, I also kind of I must have a Rubik's on my hand, and then uh, to to do as to do the same as he played, so that I can learn it. And then after like maybe like 2 weeks, something like that, and then I finally can solve the Rubik's cube by my own. And then yeah, at that time, yeah, I can solve any kind of Rubik's cube, and then as long as it is 3 times 3, and then uh, at that time also I have the chance to introduce this game to some of my friends, and then they never play Rubik's cube before, and then I try to teach them, and I found that actually kind of there is a little difficulty to teach them. Yeah, and then especially when you want to tell them how to do, but instead we have to kind of having the Rubik cubes, and then I show him how to do something like that. And then even though we have something like the steps which can be memorized, but I still have a few things which is I couldn't just tell him. I have to show him instead of telling him. Yep. So this is the first example. And then next, I'm going to also kind of list out the things that I have think of. And then after all of my examples, I try to link them together and then come to some of my opinions. So so let me finish my example first. And then the second is yeah, the second is actually also uh, kind of the things that uh, doing is kind of easier than saying, which is cooking. Yeah, for this one, um, uh, for cooking, if I ask my mom how to do, maybe how to cook a dishes, and then how to like bake a cake, and then my mom will say that you just follow me, maybe stand beside me, see how she do, and then something like to we have a terms in in the in a job which is called shadowing, which is like being the shadow of a person, just stand beside him and looking at what he do. Maybe you follow them, do the same thing, something like that. So cooking, I think, is also something easier than said. And then the next one is dancing. Yeah, for dancing, I'm actually not a person that uh, uh, can dance well. Yeah, even though maybe you want to teach me, and I will find yeah, I have many inconsistent with my hands and legs. Yeah, and then so for this one, uh, however, I think for teaching and showing someone to how to dance uh, also require you to do it, and then people just to look at you how you do it, and then they follow. Yep, and the next one is the basketball. Yeah, for basketball, and then also like we just talk about shooting. Yeah, and then for that action, for that the shooting action, and then it is kind of difficult for beginners. And I came across a few friends which they are not the kind of people that weak. They actually they are quite strong. They're stronger than me. And if they haven't played basketball before, and you want them to shoot a ball, and maybe they will found that the ball is like um, maybe heavy, and then maybe it's not heavy, but they couldn't shoot shoot the ball long. I mean, they find that uh, they need to kind of uh, use all their strength in their body, and then to shoot the ball, and then they also find it very difficult. Yeah, so also for this one, showing them, and then they just looking they just seeing someone do the shooting, I think is a better way than just like saying. It's difficult to say, and even like when shooting we use two hands, and one hand is shoot the ball, and the other hand is like put beside the ball, and it's kind of difficult to say. And the last one is the last one, let me think for a while. Yeah, the last one I think I'm not fully understand, and I couldn't uh explain it well, so I just put it here first. So for all of these my examples, and I found that it is easier to done than said. And then there are some reasons behind. And the first reason, which is for the learners, from the learner's perspective, is there's something difficult to imagine. Yeah, difficult to imagine. So by just saying they hear you, they hear your, they listen to your instruction, and they couldn't imagine, they couldn't experience without really try it, without really do it. So this is for the learner's perspective, and for the teacher's perspective, which is just now, because all of my examples is like teaching and showing someone do something is difficult. And then for the teacher's perspective, I think the reason behind is firstly, it is an unknown knowns for the particular teachers. So not all teachers is kind of uh, having the unknown knowns. And then for um, at least for me, I think this is something unknown knowns, and maybe I know how to do. I can do it, but I didn't know why I do it, why I do this step, and then the reason of why I do this maybe a few steps, and then I can reach this result. And for example, the Rubik's cube, and then I think for me, I just like try to memorize it, and then just do it. I didn't think how it become like this. And then so if you take Rubik's, and then I tell you how to step by step from the first to the last until I solve the Rubik's cube, I think I couldn't do it. I must have the Rubik's on my hand, and then I can do it. So in these terms, in this case, I think I just have the unknown knowns on playing Rubik's, and then for other experts, they have to them, maybe this is an known knowns. So not only they can play it on their hand, they can also like just say it, and other people play it, and they can solve it, and they can even like um, play it and solve it without looking at the Rubik's cube. Yeah, so I think this is the problem of unknown knowns. And then for other example is also similar, which is like cooking. Yeah, and maybe when we cook, and then we don't know why we do it, but we have tried a few times, and then it works. So every time I follow this step, and then I can finish the dishes. And then when someone asks us to tell them instead of showing them, and we find it difficult, we didn't know how. For example, we cook this maybe we actually cook like for example like 30 seconds, and then we just use the something like the subconscious to feel it. And then but when people ask us how long I have to how long I need to do for this step, and then maybe we couldn't answer. Yeah, so for here I think also is the unknown knowns. We didn't know the reason why we do it. We also kind of being unaware of what we're doing, and then but somehow we can make it at the end. Yep. So yeah, and then actually my last example is something like the things that I experienced recently, which we read the books Eat to Beat Disease, and then I found that we are actually reading the part which is some of the logic behind some health issues. And then previously maybe we know that we smoking is not good, and then we just don't smoke. We know that maybe lack of sleeping is also something bad for our health, and then maybe we take enough sleep. Drinking alcohol is not good, and we don't do it. I think for these kind of things is also something like easy to do. But when people ask us why we do that, and then maybe we know the answer, but when kind of when we want to explain to them the reason, and we found that actually we also don't know the reason behind. So in conclusion, the topics today, I found that the things that we can sometimes we do, and we don't know how to explain it. And then that is some of them is and I some of them, and also uh, a portion of the reason is because that is an unknown knowns to us. And then if that is the things that we want to know more, and is worth knowing more, worth our improvements, worth our efforts, and then we need to have the awareness. And then we need to know that if this is a things that we can do it, and also we can also explain it well, and then actually we can kind of achieve a high level, and then we can achieve further improvement only if we can do it, and also we can like say it. Yeah, so these are my sharing today.
But it's all the thing easier done than say.
Uh,
For
uh, oh,
example,
mm,
uh, you want to successfully uh, make a perfect a Rubik's cube,
mm,
and so but you have no idea how to do it. You have zero knowledge, and I give you new one, then yeah, you start to do it.
yeah.
Easier said than done? I say I want to do it, but
Mm.
I need time to spend to learn all that thing.
Okay, in that case, that is uh, yeah, that is easier to say than done. If we say that we want to like solve a Rubik's, but that is the stage of unknown. Yeah,
What do you mean? Um,
because they don't have the skill, right? They haven't learned to play
uh,
it.
yeah, but if you look at the statements, easier said than done or easier done than said, nothing related to unknown knowns or unknown unknowns. If you just look at the statement
Mm, yeah.
and so I give you a statement, and then you tell me whether it is easier done than say or easier said than done. So
Mm,
that's easy. So uh, ju- just like the topic you mentioned here, yeah, and because um, yeah, I know we can kind of like try to link the things to another things,
mm,
and open and but the thing you discuss is not the original things. Yeah, no longer the original things, no longer the original topic. Mm.
mm,
So this is kind of like a little uh mm, you may mislead yourself. For example, like you want to learn how to dance.
yeah.
Is it easier said than done or easier done than said?
Um,
Yeah, if
for this intention, it is easier said than done.
you want to uh, you want to you want to become a best cooker, you want to become a great cooker. Yeah. So you want to you want to get a degree certificate. Mm.
Mm,
And you say you need a demo, but is the demo is an actions to you because the question is easier said than done. The dance here is yourself, is not other people. And if you say the demo is an action, but it's not the action for you, it's action uh, of other people.
mm, yeah.
And also, how do you define saying? And you say, yeah, I need a demo. I demo to you so you can know what I described. And in saying, we also give a lot of example. Just like at this moment, we also give example.
Mm,
Is that example is also give you um, try to draw a picture and then try to give you the imagination so you can understand what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And how about the economics? If you don't have the material, if you don't have the lecture note, if you don't have the slide, if the lecture just say they didn't draw the graph, can they teach you well? You
um,
just you just learn by listening.
yeah, maybe for some parts we will have difficulties to imagine.
Yeah, and look at all the subject, Malay, English, and all of that, and history and mathematics, science, all the subject. Yeah, because you're the teacher, can you? Is it easier? I mean, yeah, it, is it easier? Uh, easier said than done. I mean, how do you teach your students? Because okay, the first thing is I'm not sure where you're standing from. Are you standing from a learner or are you standing from a teacher?
Yeah, for you, I think is for the teacher perspective.
Yeah, and from teacher perspective, when you are talking, when you are saying, when other people listening, are that at that moment, do you classify it as the actions, which is the dance, the doing thing, or are you classify it as a saying? Sometimes saying is also a form of action.
Yeah, and sometimes, and most of the time, they are kind of combined together.
Yeah.
I mean, the action and the saying, right?
Yeah. So how can you say easier done than say? So how do you define the say? How do you define the done here?
Yeah, because the word show is show is action plus the the speaking also.
Yeah, and for example, the Rubik cube, or like the cooking, or like the basketball, or like the dancing, I don't need to demo. I don't need to demo to you by myself using my body, and I can like from a video upload to YouTube, and you can learn. And also, if you say, yeah, I'm using the real my real body, the real things, the real Rubik cube to describe the things. So how about I make it like an image, like a video in animation, in animation form. Yeah. Yes. And then at the moment I'm explaining, is it done or is it said? And as a learner, is that is that a safe to you or is that a dance for you? So as a learner, what is a safe? What is a dance?
Yeah, for learners, the say is something like they speak out their intention. They want to achieve something. They want to do something. And for done is like taking action. So for learners, I think it's still easier said than done. And yeah.
How about the teacher?
For teachers, say and done, they are combined, and both of them are important.
Yeah. But what is but what is the state? The teacher. But what is the thing the teacher can say? Can give a promise? Can do something? For example, the teacher. How do you say to your student you can score high mark? Right. So to me, it classified in saying, and when you really when you really go through the syllabus and the teaching, and give them the exercise doing, guiding them, this is the dance here. To me, I classify like that. So the say is something like the promise is something like something you can do, yeah, or something you will do. And for example, the teacher, we say, yeah, uh, mm, okay, for example, the English have a few parts. The first is vocabulary, and the second is grammar, and Third one is combine, and the third is also the last thing, which is combine the grammar and combine the vocabulary, so we can write a good essay. Yeah, so yeah, learning English is that easy.
Yeah.
So this is a saying. Yeah. This is just an example. Yeah, I know. English is not that simple. The breakdown is not that simple. This is just an example. So yeah. So this is something I want to point out. Yeah. So what is the what is the real thing? What is the statement? So if you say like you give a lot of example and then you conclude that something, there are many things which is easier done than said. And so what's the implication?
Yeah, the implication can be like if we learn something and then we receive some inputs, either is from books or from anywhere, and then yeah, maybe we we can do kind of like we get the input and then we do the action, and but the ability to convert your input into output, to me, I think it's kind of like one of the way to identify this is whether you can kind of say it out, and if you can do that, then it is your kind of non-known. One of the example maybe like to read a book and then to read a whole book. This is the part that I think is done. And after reading the books, maybe uh, you try to make a summary or try to explain what is the concept of this particular book to others. That is the part that said. And
No, you read the book. The reading is not the dance. The reading is not the action. The action according with the rewards you want to get from from your action is not read from the page 1 to page hundreds. You just your action is just want to flip the page from page 1 to page 100. It's not that things. What you want to get is the knowledge. And if you and this is something like you saying, yeah, the action is the action is read the book. So I want to flip the book from page 1 to page 100. So and then the saying is sharing the knowledge in the book. It doesn't make sense. The action and your action is not flip the book. Your action is not using your hand to flip the book. Your action is try to understand, try to read, try to link the idea, try to guess the idea that the author trying to say, and try to maybe you also need to do some research. You also need to find the whether the author writing is right or wrong. Maybe you need to do some research. So all of these things combined together is your action in order. The action for what? The action for learning new knowledge. Yeah, your action is not something like to read out all the words. Yeah, for example, to read out all the words from the word 1 to the end of the paragraph. Yeah, your action is this is your action, but what you're trying to get from the action is you want to learn the knowledge. Or can you say or you say you want to read a book? Will you read a book that's which is the language, another language book that you that you have never learned, that you don't understand. For example, you read, and let's say you read the Java. Yeah, let's say you read the book written in Bahasa Java. You know, you have no idea all the vocabulary.
Yeah.
You don't know how. You don't even know how to read out. Yeah, but some of the language you are able to read out. You are able to read out. Yeah, but you can't understand. Yeah, and when you're talking about reading a book, will you include this kind of book inside? And if yes, then yeah, easier done than said. You can read out the whole book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that shouldn't be included.
Yeah. And what I want to say is the conclusion is right. It's something good for us to do. We need to have the awareness and in order to spot our unknown knowns, and we need to know the importance of teaching in order to learn, teach to learn, which is the female learning method, so that we can improve further. Yeah, but there is a false reality. There is a false conclusion generated from the statement easier done than said. Nothing related between them. There are no relations.
Yep.
Yeah. And also, do nothing also an action sometimes. For example, when you are doing investment. Yeah. And be patient, be patient, be patient. So this is also a form of action. Yeah. So action, do nothing at here, be patient at here is also a form of action. Yeah. And what is the saying here? The saying here, you say, I want to hold the ticker forever. Just like, for example, the Warren Buffett, they say, he say that if I have bought the ticker, if I have bought the company stock, I I wish the exchange downlist the ticker, the stock, the company stock, so that I can't see the price. Yeah. Yeah. This is what Warren Buffett said. So this is the saying, but how about the doing? Doing, which is doing nothing. You need to like you need to like do nothing, which is not selling. But this is also an action. This is also easier said than done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah. So okay, to me, there is no such thing which is easier done than said. But if we change the topic, we try to look at another opposite, which is we change the past tense to the current, which is from said to say, from done to do. Is there anything which is easier to do than say? Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. For example, like one of the example is you want to learn basketball. You want to learn how to how to how to throw and uh, how to throw the basketball from the three point position. And then yeah, you can listen people saying, you can learn from all the video, all kind of video and all the things. Yeah, but in order to learn that if efficiently, the faster way to learn that is actually you go to do it. Yeah. So you just go to experience. You just go to experience. Yeah. So you don't need to really know the theory. Yeah, the theory is when you want to improve, when you already have some basic, you want to improve. Yeah. So you go to the theory. Yeah, but at the beginning, but by the beginning stage, you just go to do it. Yeah. And no matter how how well you can say it, no matter how well you can say, for example, I know uh, uh, my uh, my dam need to use like 20% of the power, 20% of the energy, and then how I need to grab the ball, my hand how to position, and my leg, my knee, yeah, how to stand, and uh, and when the moment I throw out the ball and I need to jump, yeah, how high I can jump, I need to spend how many energy to jump, all that thing. Yeah, you can learn all the theory, you can say it out, but you still can't do it. Just like you're trying to learn the swimming at the land, not in the water. So the easiest way, which is throw you in the water, and you start to dream, and you start to learn how to swim, and not talking all the theory at the ground. Yeah, so this is for learner, this is something that can easier to do than say. Yeah. Yeah, so that's my sharing for today.
Yeah. All right. So me too. Yeah.
Okay, so that's all for our conversations. How do you feel? Did you enjoy the conversations? Please tell us what you think of our conversation. And we are not native speakers. If you found any vocabulary mistake that we made, please also comment to let us know, because we want to learn more and improve ourselves. Remember to like and subscribe to us. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.